Are you planning to apply for Australian eVisa? Then you are in the right place. In this video, I'll take you through everything you need to know, from the application process and the visa fees to the expected timelines and important documents. And if you're traveling with family and friends, don't worry. I can help you with the complete group application process as well, making it simple, smooth, and stress free. So stay with me and let's get started. So the process starts with going into the website which I'm highlighting on top. Here on this particular page, you have to create your Immi account, which is on the bottom left corner. If you already have an Immi account, you can of course use username and password. Once you click on create, you have to give in the email address. Now here, make sure that you are giving a correct email address because you will get a verification code or an OTP of sorts on this particular email. You have to go to your email and verify or get yourself verified to with the verification code you have received, and you click on next. As soon as you click on next, it will ask you some additional fields of information in terms of what type of online services do you need, that is individual or organization, along with some of the new user details. Now, the new user details are your first name, last name, or the surname. Family name is your surname, along with the phone number and mobile phone. You can see the mobile phone here is not mandatory. So, if you do not own landline, just a mobile, give that in the phone section. Other than that, you can see there's an option of organization. Here, what you have to do is, if you are registering on behalf of an organization, you have to select that. Given I am not, I'll click on individual and move ahead. Here, now this is the last step of creating your profile. So you have to give in the new password and retype the new password, that is, so that you can use the username and password to come back to this website whenever you want to. Other than that, here you have to give answers to three security questions. Here make sure that you remember the exact answer of these questions, including the caps on and caps off as well, because if you forget your password, this will be the only way to retrieve your password or to activate your or reactivate your account. Once you have given all this information, just read the terms and conditions and accept the terms and conditions and click on I'm not a robot. As soon as you click that, you will see a multi-factor authentication as an option. Now here there are two options. I'm new to this and I don't have an authenticator app, or I already have an authenticator app. First, I'll select I'm new to this and I need an authenticator app. You click on next and it will kind of give you information or kind of talk to you about what all authenticator app are available. So that is your Microsoft Authenticator, your Google Authenticator, or anything else which you have, right? So the step one for this process is to download one of these apps. Once you download, you click on next, and the process will take you forward. Given I already have an authenticator app, I'm saying I already have an app. I'm clicking on next. Now, on most of the apps, there is on the bottom right, there's a plus icon on your account on your phone when you open any of these apps. So just click on that particular plus icon. I'm opening Microsoft Authenticator right now and clicking on plus, and clicking on next. Post that in my app that is on my smartphone, I can scan the QR code or use the secret key. I have scanned the QR code just now, so the process is happening, and I click on next. Now, as soon as the account got registered, I will get a six-digit code which I have to fill in here and click on next. The moment you do that, your login is successful and the profile has been created. Now, we have to start updating our passport. We have to submit new passport details only once, to make sure that from the same passport multiple times the accounts are not getting created. Here on top, you see three options: new application, import application, and submit application. I've clicked on new application and moving forward. The second last option which you see here is the visitor visa, and we have to select the visitor visa 600 from India to apply for this particular tourist visa. So I'm clicking on that, and then it takes me to one of the 20 pages, right? The first one, here you have to read the terms and conditions and click on next. It asks you, is the applicant currently outside Australia? Given I'm in India, I'll say yes. I have to talk about my current location, the legal status of staying in India, as in, am I a citizen, am I a permanent resident, whatever. The purpose of stay, that is why I want to travel. So I'm saying tourist stream. It says list all the reasons for visiting Australia. I'll say tourism, and it's talking about the details of the same. So you can give in here your travel details if you are traveling with a group, which airline you are traveling from, and all that information. Whatever you want to give, you can talk about here. I'm saying that I'm traveling here with my spouse. The passport number of my spouse is whatever I have mentioned here, right? The next option you see is group processing. Now, it is very, very important. If you are traveling as part of a group, what happens is, all the family members of the group or all the friends traveling together would like to apply for the visa together so that the application gets processed together. So this is important for those. So if you are applying as part of group, you will say yes. It kind of asks you the information in terms of select the group. So once you click here, it will ask you, does the group already exist or do you have to create a new group? So the first person who's applying for the group has to say no, so that they can give in a group name and a group type. So you can give any name and a type of group, that is family, friends, other, whatever you want to give, right? So I'm giving family and I'll click on confirm. The moment you click on confirm, an ID of sorts gets generated. Here you can see which I'm highlighting. Now everyone else who's applying from particularly this group has to click on no, and then has to click on yes, and then given this information, this group ID, so to make sure that the applications are getting processed together. The next question is no, so I've moved forward. On the third page, it will ask you some of the very basic details of information, that is your passport details. Here, the person who is submitting the application themselves has to give in this. As in, do not worry about the group at this point in time. From the perspective of group, you just have to create a group ID. That would also be the first person who's submitting this application from the group. So let's say you're traveling in a group of five. The first person who's submitting the application can create a group ID and share it with the rest for them to just select that group ID. Here you have to give in your passport details, like your surname, that is your family name, your given name, your gender, your date of birth, the passport number, country of passport, nationality of passport holder, the date of issue and date of expiry. Now, once you've given all this information, sorry, you have to also give in the place of issue. Now again, all this information will be easily available on your passport, so you don't have to worry about where I'll get this information from. It is recommended that our passport is valid for the next 6 months. If it is not, there are high chances that your visa will not go through. Okay. The next question it asks is a national identity card. So does this application can have a national identity card? You can say yes and add in any other fields of info or any other card like Aadhaar card, your driving license, your voter ID. Here in this particular step, I'm giving the Aadhaar. You just have to make sure though that during the document submission phase, you will also have to upload your Aadhaar to make sure you prove your validity, or you prove your that this is a person. So here I have given in Aadhaar. You can add more details as well. I would suggest, it's not mandatory, but I would suggest make sure to add at least one national identity, or mention at least one national identity. When it talks about the place of birth, here again mention the exact same thing which is mentioned on your passport, and this again information is available on your passport. Then it asks you about the relationship status. So I'm currently saying married. Then it is asking you if you're known by any other name and things like that. Right, so no. Is the applicant a citizen of selected country of passport? Yes. Is the applicant citizen of any other country? No. Has previously traveled to Australia? I would say yes. Has applied for the visa previously? I would say again yes, because I've traveled in 2024. Then the grand number, no. Other passports or documents of travel in India we do not have, so I've said no. Other identity documents, yes or no, you can give if you want to give other identity documents as well. Currently, I'm saying no and moving ahead. Health examination, again, I've said no because there is no need. On the fourth page, it's just a review where it is asking you if the information is correct. Okay, you have to just say yes or no and move ahead. On the fifth page now, it is asking every person who's traveling must submit a separate visa application. However, please mention the name of the people who are traveling together. Like that is, list the name of all the people who are traveling together and what is the relationship between these people. Right now, again, this comes in handy if you're processing a group visa. So to make sure that everyone gets the visa process together, as well as it kind of gives you more authority or authenticity in terms of, yes, this is a group of five people, they are traveling together, they're able to manage their finances, or three of them have sufficient finances. So make sure that you are giving all the people who are traveling together in a group that information here. It asks you just for the basic information of those people. You click on confirm. You can add and see multiple number of people as well. Once you do that, you click on next. Then it asks you about the contact details, as in your country of residence, your department office, as in if you have to give an interview, from where you will give. So given I live in Bangalore, I have said Bangalore to India. Then it talks you about your residential address, as in what is your residential address. Make sure you are giving in this correct information as well. For most of us, it will be the passport information itself, right? Then it talks about the contact telephone number. Now this field of information is not mandatory, but at least make sure you are giving in one field of information. There can be a possibility the embassy contact you if they need clarification on something. That in the postal address same, I'll say yes, and then the email address again I've said yes. Now it is asking the applicant is authorizing another person to for this, or they are doing it themselves. So I'm saying I'm doing it myself. Then it is saying that the electronic communication will happen on the email provided. So just accept it and move forward. Now in this eighth step, it is asking for the number of people who are not traveling with you, who will remain back in India. This information is pretty good, so make sure you are filling in this as well. Now, why this is needed is Australian government kind of needs some assurance that you will not overstay your visa, or you will not live in Australia permanently even if you don't have a visa, and you have a valid reason to come back to India. So make sure how much information or how many number of people you are staying back. You've given that information. It could be your mother, your father, your mother and father-in-law, your sister, your brother, your spouse, your kids, right? Given that information because it kind of gives confidence to Australian government that these people will come back again, right? You don't have to submit any documents for those people. Just make sure you're adding the details. On ninth page, does the applicant intend to enter Australia more than one occasion? This is yes or no as a single entry or monthly entry. Then the length of stay. I've chosen up to 3 months. Then it will ask you for the planned arrival date and the planned departure date. Now you don't have to necessarily submit your flight tickets here, but at least have a tentative date in mind because the visas get processed accordingly, right? So the arrival date and the departure date in terms of within 3 months. How from what to what date you're planning to travel. Will you be studying while in Australia, and relative and friends if you have any in Australia? Then you click on next. It is asking about the employment status. If you say unemployed, it will ask you the last time you were employed and you have to give in that information. If you say self-employed, sorry, employed, it again asks you for a lot of information. And if you say self-employed, it will again ask you to fill in the information about your self-employment. In a nutshell, you will have to provide the information about your employment. Now, given I don't work, assuming I don't work, I'm just saying not working. So nothing to provide information here. No previous work experience as well, right? However, whosoever is writing that, they will have to prove the finances, as in how you will be funding yourself. So here I'm saying I'm supported by other person. That is, the other person is supporting me, or I'm traveling on their financial condition. It is asking me the type of support that person is giving. I will say all costs because I don't earn, and they're talking about what funds will the applicant have to available, so that I can support my stay in Australia. So I've just given a random $5,000 number. Then it is asking me who, as in who's supported by other person, who's that other person. So I'm saying it is my partner who will be supporting me, or who will be bearing the cost of this trip, right? Now make sure you're giving this information correctly because especially for the people who do not have employment status, or where they can prove in their financial status, this comes in handy. And of course, the person, that is the other person, in my case my partner, have to show sufficient funds for me as well as for himself, right? Anyway, I've given this information. I click on next. You have to, once you're on page 16, you'll start with health declarations, as in will you require a healthcare facility there, do you have tuberculosis and things like that. Just go through it, answer it honestly, and move ahead, right? So I'm giving all the information which I have to have and clicking on next. On page 17, it talks about the character declaration. Now again, go through this line by line and make sure you're selecting the right information. It is quite important for Australian government to know, your character things, and this might get checked as well. So make sure you're giving in the right information in terms of, you know, uh, have you had any arrest warrant in the past and things like that. So make sure you're giving in that information as well. And once you fill in all this information and you click next, you reach to a point where it says, has the applicant held or does currently hold visa to Australia or any other country? So here you have to give in the information of all the passports you had in the future. If you had lot of visas, if you had lot of visas, make sure you're mentioning the important countries like UK, US, you know, which kind of helps solidify your case again. So I have UK, and then I also had an Australian visa in the past, so I'll say Australia. I had traveled in XYZ year, so I had traveled in 2024, so I'll give in that information. Clicking on next, it talks about declarations. As in, what all declarations, you have understood everything, you are providing the correct information, and things like that. Whatever information you are giving is correct as per you. And some of the things in terms of if something goes wrong, Australia can revoke, or during immigration can say no for you to enter, and all that. Once you are done with all that, you click on next. Now on 21, it is asking for a priority consideration, as in if you pay 1000 AUD additional, your application will be processed within the next 48 hours. This is more like a Tatkal service which we have in passport for in India. Given I don't have to do that, I'll click on no and I'll move ahead. The moment you click on next, you go to a page where you have to review all the information. Make sure you're reviewing it once more so that there's no wrong information that is coming. As soon as that is done, you click on next. You will see some of the documentation or some of the documents you have to upload. So on required, you will see two information or two documents. One is the travel document, which is nothing but your passport. Here on passport, you see multiple options. Passport, as in you can upload your passport, but then there are other things as well which you can upload with passport. It could be, let's say you have a travel history, so you will have an option of uploading that information as well if you think that will help solidify your case or get you a visa, right? There could be other items as well, so you just make sure you are uploading those documents. The next one is national identity document other than passport. So this is again a required document. So make sure you are submitting, your Aadhaar, your driving license, your voter ID card, whatever you think you are submitting. The other four are recommended. So one is family registration and composition form, evidence of planned tourism activities, evidence of financial status. So specifically if you're employed, you can give in your pay slips, your income tax acknowledgement. You can choose other and give in your FD summary, whatever you think. So if you're giving your bank statements or pay slip, make sure attaching at least 3 months of information to solidify your case. The, okay, the other one could be, and you have an option to, by the way, upload multiple items, okay, in the same information. So again, I have uploaded April payslip, now I can upload May's payslip, right? The next one is invitation from family, friends, or organization. If someone is inviting you due to something, so you can upload documents of that. Right, and the next one is group tour details. That is if you are traveling in a group. Now for tour details, what you have to do, you can give in your itinerary. Make sure you're submitting your cover letter via itinerary. You can give in a documentation or participant list. Now I have created a participant list on Excel. I will first upload that and show you how it will look like as well. I have uploaded my Excel. Now what I have done here, in this particular documentation, is nothing. The number of people who are traveling with me, I've mentioned their names along with their passport number. So it's very simple, but make sure you're giving in that information so that all the information gets processed together, making sure it's 100% a surety that everyone is getting the visa in the group. Okay, so once you are done with that, you also have one option on recommended in terms of evidence of planned tourism activities in Australia. So if you have flight bookings to travel through or anything else, make sure you're submitting that. Once all that is done, you just have to click on the submit button. The moment you come, click on submit, you will not be able to make any changes. However, you can, if till the time you have not submitted, you have an option to change few things in the application. Now here I have clicked on submit. It is asking me to confirm, so I'll be confirming. The moment I click on confirm, it will redirect me to a payment page to make the payment. Now make sure that till the time you have not paid this 250 AUD fees, your application will not be sent to Australian government for processing. So even if you have clicked on submit but not made the payment, the application or your application will not go through. So here first thing is you have to select by how you're paying. I've selected credit card or debit card. Then it is asking me for the information on the cardholder address. But I'm not in the payment page still. I fill in all that information. Then the moment I'll click on the submit, it will take me to the other page to give in my card details, which I will be not showing in this particular case because that will be a little bit of a private information. Okay. So the moment you click on submit, it again tells you that you have to make a payment of $250, and then only your application will be processed or further taken into consideration to process, right? So the moment I click on submit, yes, it will take me to a payments page. Here you have option to fill in your credit card or debit card information. The moment you fill in all this information and you click on next, that's how it works. So once you have made the payment, you kind of see an you kind of get an acknowledgement email on the registered email address which you have given earlier, which looks something like this. It takes 2 days to 2 weeks for people to for their applications to get processed. Once they are processed, you kind of again get an email on the same email address saying that your online submission of application has been reviewed and this is the outcome. On the bottom of this email there will be an attached document which will look something like this. You just have to open this document. It will talk about the outcome, of course, and your passport details, your visa entry date or your port of entry dates, along with multiple entry or single entry. Now in my case I had applied for single entry but got the visa of multiple entry, so I'm not sure if it is happening for everyone or not, but that's how it looks like. Yeah, and that's about it. That's how the process looks like. Thanks for watching this video. But a pro tip before boarding that flight to Australia, make sure you're watching the next video, which talks about the very specific biosecurity rules which we have for Australia. Otherwise, you will have to pay hefty fines. So make sure before boarding the flight, you know what you are carrying and what all you are allowed to carry and what you are not allowed to carry. Thank you.